What's going on, everybody? Demonzano here. As always, thank you so much for clicking on my movie review. It really means the world to me. I feel it right there. I love you guys. Today, I will be reviewing the 92% Rotten Tomatoes score movie, Widows. So it better be good. Cue the intro. Even though this is a 2-hour-long movie that felt at some points like a 3-hour-long movie, we actually have a very simple plot here. After a group of thieves are killed while trying to pull off this elaborate heist, their widowed wives are left behind with this huge debt to pay to these criminals that their husbands were involved with. So the widows have to come together and find a way to get this money back to these bad guys or they're dead. And that leaves us with an emotional thriller that's packed with a couple of incredible performances. As usual, let's start with the positives. I'm sure when you see a movie trailer or a movie poster to a film like this that's stacked with amazing actors, of course the first thing you're wondering about are the performances. And I'll say there's two specific performances that I love the most. So let's go ahead and start with Viola Davis. I think that Viola Davis could be a part of the worst movie ever made and you'd still leave knowing that she gave it her all. She does a phenomenal job. She's broken. She's lost the love of her life. And she's an expert at crying on camera. I don't know how she does it, but if you've never seen her cry before on film, she really goes all out. Tears covering her face, runny nose all over the place, sniffling, the whole 9 yards. She's very convincing and I felt her pain. The second person that really blew me away was Daniel Kaluuya. I'm a really big Daniel Kaluuya fan, okay? For the past 3 weeks, I've literally been sending this GIF to one of my buddies every single day saying, "Are you ready?" Seriously, I really just couldn't wait to see what he did in this movie. And I was not disappointed. This guy is the real deal. I've been saying this ever since I saw him for the first time on Black Mirror. He's one of the bad guys here. He plays the right-hand man of the main bad guy that everyone's afraid of. He's the guy that really enjoys getting his hands dirty. He's basically the Joe Pesci of Goodfellas without any of the humor. And man, every single time this guy's on screen, he makes you want to hold your breath. He's very unpredictable and he's just a very bad guy that you enjoy seeing be bad. For me, he was the scene stealer by far, and I absolutely cannot wait to see what he does next. As far as everyone else in this film, they all play their part. I wouldn't say anyone else gives off anything incredible, but they're also not just there, if you know what I mean. They do a good job, but when the camera gets put back on Viola Davis or Daniel Kaluuya, it reminds you that they're really the ones who are trying to command your attention. Steve McQueen is the director. He also directed the Oscar-winning film 12 Years a Slave, and you could tell that he had a specific vision for this movie from the way he tells the story and the way he sets his shots up. But where the negatives start to come in is, in my opinion, with the storytelling. Now, some may see this review and completely disagree with me, and that's fine. But there were many moments to me where I just felt bored. And those moments usually consisted of showing us other characters that just weren't that interesting. And it has nothing to do with their acting, it's just the story that's being told for those certain characters just wasn't interesting. And not only were they not interesting, but they were kind of pointless and to me, nothing but a waste of time. And as I said in the beginning, it is a 2-hour-long movie, but I'd be lying if I said it didn't feel like a 2.5-hour to 3-hour-long movie. I think there's at least 20 to 30 minutes of this movie that could have been completely shaved away. And if not shaved away, at least replaced with something a little bit more interesting or something that could have added more to the story. There's this side story of one of the widows who's trying to become an escort, and we're shown at least 20 minutes throughout the movie of her and this guy's relationship. And again, it's just a waste of 20 minutes. I could care less about anything going on between her and this guy. There's also another moment that wastes a lot of time with Michelle Rodriguez and this old guy that she meets up with. And I think the entire audience that I saw this movie with would agree with me when I say it was the most random ever. Also, this entire film is leading up to this big moment of the widows pulling off a heist of their own. And when the heist finally does happen, even though it feels a little intense, it also just felt very short and effortless. The job was almost too easy. And when the women start the heist, they almost come off as a professional heist team that's been performing heists over 100 times, or a heist team that's practiced and rehearsed this job over 100 times. And they haven't. And I just wasn't buying that. And that leads me to probably my biggest issue with the movie. There's not really any scenes of them getting ready for the heist, preparing and practicing. When there are moments like that of the women getting what they need, like the van and the guns and putting on heavy backpacks to see what it's gonna feel like to carry around heavy money weight. That stuff was very interesting and entertaining. I would have liked to see a whole lot more of that. So if they would have scrapped the 30 minutes worth of side stories of boring characters that we could care less about and replaced it with more of the women gearing up and trying to pull off an Ocean's 11 type operation, I think the movie could have been a lot more intense. I'd like to go a lot more in depth with all of this and explain why I think I'm correct, but then I'd definitely be spoiling a lot of the movie. Do I recommend this film? As always, it kind of depends. If you want to see a couple of great performances and you don't mind a couple of boring, slow moments, you might like this movie and think it's an Oscar nominee. But overall, when I really think about it, even though I love Viola Davis and I love Daniel Kaluuya, by the time you buy you and another person a movie ticket, your popcorn, your drinks, maybe candy, at some theaters, you're pushing 50 bucks, if not over 50 bucks. And when you leave the theater, I just don't know if you're gonna walk out thinking that you got your $50 worth. That's not me saying that this is a bad movie. No, not at all. But I do think it'd be better to save money, rent the movie, and just watch it at home. I don't really think I'd watch the movie again, but if they released the Daniel Kaluuya scenes from the movie and put them on YouTube, I would definitely rewatch those scenes a couple of times. That is it, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, please, as always, hit the subscribe button. It means the world to me. Give me a like. Comment down below. Have you seen this movie? Do you agree with me, or am I out of my mind? Is this one of the greatest movies of 2018? But until next time, I will see you on the next movie review.